Yeah, so like I was saying, Henry, I mean, my background is in going direct to seller.
Mhm.
So yeah, I get it. Sometimes, it can feel lonely and especially everybody posting or, uh, and again, I felt the same way you felt when I started this journey too. So definitely, I mean, I'm here to help. By no means I'm an expert, but again, I had some experience because I work with like I was telling Leslie, I work with a wholesaler, and we were doing a lot of direct to. We were actually doing marketing, so we're doing pay per click, Google ads. We're doing direct mail. Those were our two sources actually, PPC and direct mail to get our sellers here in the Southwest Florida market. So we're actually marketing to a lot of lists. And so my job was when I was working with the wholesaler I was the lead manager. So when a call came in, I was filtering the calls to see, hey, who's actually motivated, who's not, and who's really motivated. So I was I was pre-qualifying basically. And then I kind of moved up and started doing some acquisition for this wholesaler. We're actually, he was very traditional. He was like the old way, I would say, because we're actually going to to appointments. We're actually meeting with sellers, sitting on the table. Uh, so it was really old school. So he wasn't doing a lot of deals because again, it was really the old school mentality where you had to go to the person's house, check out the property, and we were just making cash offers. And I think that's where we fell short is, especially now with different strategies, we could acquire, we could have made more money if we would have maybe offered like a creative deal, or maybe would have offered to list the property. I mean, just so many ways to wrap a property around. But so that's just to make the story short, after me working with the wholesaler, actually, there was another acquisition guy that was working there. We actually partnered up and started doing same direct to seller. A lot of it was just text blast. So me and this guy did a couple of deals. We did, I'll take a handful of wholesale deals. They were also direct to seller. And then it just started dying out. This guy wasn't, putting a lot of effort in. So I was like, I'm just going to go on my own. And so since last November, I actually quit my job and just went full time. And ever since that happened, I actually did a micro flip here in this area. And then this is when I landed the hotel property here in my area. So, I mean, I'm going to just go over it, what happened, how the deal went down. And so like I said, this one came from a text message, and this person was an absentee owner. So they actually lived out of state, and they had this property with tenants in them. It was more like a tire. This was an inherited property, but also she was a tire landed. So there was a lot of motivation. She was just didn't want to deal with it, and I was able to get her on the contract. She actually just the first. So when I texted, hey, so I use a very simple text message. It's just, let me see, what was it? I have it here. Let's see. Actually, can I share my screen?
Let me see here.
And then I'll just share how the whole deal went down.
Are you hitting share screen?
Yeah, I'll hit it right now. Let's see. It says disabled.
Shoot,
It's disabled.
I'm not like a super Zoom expert. Let me see if there's.
Oh.
Let's
see.
Maybe if I make you, I'm going to make you the host. Let's see if that.
Yeah, that works. Oh, there. All right. So.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to just stay muted. Yeah. I'm going to just stay muted. So we can just jump in with questions towards the end if that works for everybody.
Yeah. That's. So this is where the conversation starts. Says, hi Joyce, it's Juan. You're interested in, and just, and then she texted me back with $80,000 cash, and I was like, just started a conversation and just said, what the condition is. So just a normal conversation. Whenever it comes to sellers, just to get them talking, get to know them. And then that's when actually I called her and said, hey, what's can you tell me about the property? What's going on? And that's where I find out she inherited the property from her dad. The tenants were there they've been renting I think for 10 years, more than 10 years. So and again, so this is all the conversation. So I texted her at 2:11 just to tell you what the how long does it take to get a property under contract. It took me about almost a week, or almost, let me see, when was it? When did I get it? When was it? Yeah, so it took me like a week to get this person under contract. You got to work. The seller is not, some sellers are very, very quick to say yes, send me the contract. This one was more hesitant. It's like, I don't move this quick. Was an older person, so it had to do a lot of follow-up. So I started on the 11th, and then on the 18th of February, that's when I was able to get it under contract. So it took me 7 days to get her under contract. So how I was able to fund the deal was using this company called Plastic. So Plastic allows you to send wires from your credit card to the title company. So that's how I was able to fund the deal here. So, and again, Plastic is free. You can sign up for it. It's at no cost. So just to show you how it looks like. And this is using a mixture of personal and business credit cards. So when you log in, you can actually just make a payment here. And you can make payments to title companies. You can even do this for rehabs. Like if you want to pay a contractor, you can do the same. You can come here and you can make multiple payments. So what happens is, you'll enter the title company's information, or your contract, or whoever you want to pay. So they do charge a fee. It's 2.85. And the reason I use this company instead of doing a cash advance is if you read the agreement on the credit cards, there's some credit cards that are 0%. That they offer 0%, no interest. Some are 6, some are 12 months. So the reason I use them is in order for the payment to show under my credit card as a purchase. So what this company does is they charge your card, so it looks like you purchased something. So then the credit card company is like, okay, this is a 0%, and we're gonna honor this as a purchase. Because if you do you can do also a cash advance, get a check from the credit card company, and then send it to the title company. But at that point, you're, there's the interest that applies. Which, because on cash advances, there's never a 0% introductory offer or whatever that is. So that's why I use Plastic to do other transfers. And I actually did this a couple of times where I helped my dad buy a property. We did the same. We used his credit card to buy the property. So as you can see, I've used this company. And the great thing is some credit card companies actually give you points when you do the transfer. And I'll show you here in a minute, which actually kind of waives the fee. So it didn't cost you anything to send the wire transfer, because you accumulate that in points, and then some credit cards allow you to pay yourself back. So at that point, you really didn't pay any fees. So yeah, you want to use Plastic when it comes to doing when it comes to using your credit card. If you have a 0% introductory offer. So I mean, you can use this to like send your deposits or whatever you want to do. The only thing it does, even though it's a wire, it doesn't post the same day. It could take 24 hours. So if you're sending a payment to the title company and let's say you're closing tomorrow, you don't want to wait till tomorrow to send the payment. You want to send it at least 24 or 48 hours just to be safe. Because when I first used this and tried it out, I thought the wire, because usually when you do a bank wire, it actually gets to the title company within hours. Not with this, it takes about 24 to 48 hours. So just keep that in mind. So the company's called Plastic. There's another company that does it. They charge about the same. So it's just, I mean, you can use this one, or I think the other one's called Melio. So after you fund the deal, you send the money over to the title company. I mean, you close just a regular transaction. They'll send you, the HUD and everything. So it's very self-explanatory. Just this is the HUD. As I posted, this is the property. I said this was a hotel, but it was more like it wasn't even a hotel because just where the market is, this property did need a lot of work, more than I expected, but I just went and put it on the market and I was able to, get a pretty good offer just because where the market is at. And I'll show you some pictures of what the house looks like. This is a HUD. When you buy a property, this is what the title company will prepare for you. It tells you this, what's your closing costs, what's going to go to the seller. So it's very, very self-explanatory. And when you can go sell the property, you're going to get another HUD. Just tells you the buyer's name, who's selling it, what the price is. So, I mean, you'll see these more often as you go and purchase properties. Always review these because sometimes title companies make mistakes too. So just review them and make sure that looks good. So let me show you a couple of pictures of the property here. All right. So this is the other deal. So a hotel, basically what a hotel is, the property needs cosmetic work, and then you just put it back on the market on the MLS. That's one strategy where sometimes it makes sense to do that, depending if the numbers work. So this is it's a piece of crap here. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. That's what the property looked like. I didn't do anything to it. I literally just bought it and then posted on the MLS. This is before the tenants moved out. So that's the other thing. I had to inherit the tenants, but I was actually able to get them out fairly quickly just by, having a conversation and telling them, hey, I'm gonna move in here and I'm gonna bring my family in here. Just make up a story, to be honest. And so it's not even a house. It's I would say like a wood frame house. And literally I didn't do anything to it. So yeah, again, hotels, just you buy the property, needs cosmetic work, put it back on the market, list it close to retail, and then just have people send you offers. So that's the deal here. So do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you found, because I know you said it was a text blast. So how did you, I know you were doing pay per click and direct mail, but for this one specifically, how did you find the address and the buyer? Like,
Hmm.
did you pull a list somewhere?
No, so the buyer was actually came from the MLS.
Okay, from MLS. Okay.
Yeah, because so the strategy was here posted on the MLS. You have, when you post it on the MLS, a lot of agents get notified. Uh, if they're, if they actually, because when you're an agent, you actually set an area and get alerts every time a new property comes to the market. So it's actually put it on the MLS, got a lot of eyeballs on it, and
Oh, sorry. I meant
and
for the original seller. I must have said that wrong.
oh,
Which
the original seller,
the
yeah,
seller.
it was an absentee owner list.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had property in this area, and then they lived that I think it was Maryland where that lady lived. So it was I just pulled just like any list, just absentee.
Did you use
They
like
own.
PropStream or Privy or like?
So as a realtor, I actually have it's called Remind. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have Remind. It's I already paid. It's already paid for because we paid for the board. So it's just like any tool. It pulls absentee pre-foreclosure, just like any other tool. It's just we get it as realtors. That's what I use to pull the list. So I don't pay for any other. I'm already paying for this when I pay my
Gotcha.
MLS due. So it's just a regular. I usually go absentee. They own it at least 10 years. Because usually that means they're tired. So I go absentee, owned it for at least 10 years. And then well, that's personally me. And then I try to stay under 250. It's what yeah. So that's where I pulled the list. And then I sent a very simple text here.
And is
Nothing.
this REI Black Book? Is that something you pay for as a realtor? Or is this just like another app subscription?
This is the CRM I use.
Okay.
So it's a CRM that I use to keep everything in one place because I have tracking numbers. I use it more to track where my leads are coming from because that's very important. I want to know what my KPIs are, and then I can go back and track what happened, how did the deal happen, all the information. So it's like I was telling everybody earlier. I texted this lady on 2/11, and this is a direct to seller lead seller. So I texted her 2/11. Got the property under contract. It was because I had sent her the contract that same day, but she didn't sign it the same day. It took. I had to follow up, just like anything you have to follow up. I got her on a contract. 2/21. So 2/21 around there, 2/8. So it took about a week to get this lady under contract, and that's normal when you go to direct to seller. Some could take longer, just because how motivated they are. Again, this lady just she had a job, so and we were in a different time zone. So it took me a week to get her under contract, and so that's the great thing about REI Black Book too is you can set up. This is once if you're doing direct to seller, as you can always do like some sort of workflow, so it just follows up every 2 weeks or every whatever, just checking in with the person. So yeah, this is just the CRM.
Perfect.
Nothing. Yeah, just that
And
I use.
this was a virtual deal. So did you ever see this in person or send a contractor before you made the offer? And was she okay with you not seeing like sight unseen?
Yeah, she was okay with it.
Okay.
So actually I never got to meet the seller. I was able to get in the property because I actually live in the area. So I was actually able to. That was after I got her on the contract. I knew my numbers because I live here in this area. When she said $80,000, the property was worth 160 fixed up. So I was like, I knew it was a deal right away. So I actually wanted to get on a contract that same day, but it didn't go that way. It took a week for me to reach out and have a conversation, get her on the contract, to trust me. It's more build rapport, to be honest, because actually somebody else was buying that, was also making an offer, but it's just at the end of the day, is the way you come across people is sometimes it's what can get you the deal. Do you guys have any other questions?
I have two more, and then you guys should just raise your hand or something, and then we can go. So when you
Yeah.
used the credit cards to get this deal, what were you paying? Like, what did the credit cards pay for exactly? Like closing costs, like the whole purchase of the home, like what did did you do hard money for any of this, or like the whole financing? Do you mind breaking down just a little bit more?
Yeah. So let me see, this one is the sell side. So my purchase was $80,000. It was a combination. So I didn't have to get any. I actually tried and get a hard money loan. It just didn't work out, because what happens is they still wanted me to do like a virtual inspection on the property, and there was tenants in there, and they weren't actually cooperating. They weren't happy that this property was getting sold. So I actually had to raise some money for family and friends. I think it was about $30,000 I had to raise, and then the rest was on my credit cards. So basically it was a combination. So the purchase price was, and then my closing cost was this. So 30 of that came from family and friends, and then the rest came from my credit cards. And it's just, I was actually sending different, because it was multiple credit cards that I was sending funds from. So every time I sent a wire, I said, hey, this is my, so it wasn't like a lump sum. It was just in chunks, because I had different credit cards. Like I had a Chase one, I had a Truist, I had a Citizens, and then I had a Discover card. So it was a combination of credit cards that added up to the 50, and then the rest came from family and friends. So you can send wires in chunks. You don't have to send the full $80,000, as long as everything adds up to the cash to close. I mean, the title company doesn't care,
Gotcha.
as long as you're able to fund the total purchase price.
Hey, Carmita, can you mute your phone, please? Background noise. So for you applying for like the credit cards, it's just been like over time with your business, like you've built up like credit lines. Is that what you've done to have like bigger credit lines with your credit cards?
Yeah. So it was building it over time. It's just using them, paying them off, is the strategy. And then on the business side is also just applying for credit cards. I know there's companies out there, which I'm going to try now, that help you actually build your business credit. There's a lot of companies out there that you pay for, and I just don't know how effective they are. So I'm going to actually give that a try, because I know on the personal side, you can only go up to $50,000 on a personal credit card. And then when you actually use the full balance, it actually affects your credit score. So that's the other thing to keep in mind on the personal, is actually it affects your credit score. If you have a $10,000 credit card and you use $10,000, it actually hurts your credit score. And then on the business side, it doesn't affect it at all. And I think business is up to 150 that you can apply for or use. It's just over time, build it over time and use it, and just use it and pay it off.
And then you didn't do any rehab. So I was going to ask if you got a construction crew, if you paid for that, but you didn't. You just totally just went and listed it because there was some equity there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So just put it back on the market.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Carmita asked, is the business credit separate from personal credit? So yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And then Plastic allows you to send both from your business credit card and also personal. So let me show you here. So this is, the company's called Plastic. So if you came in late, let me just go over it again. So what Plastic does is they're a third party company that actually they actually send wires for you to the title company, or if you're going to pay contractors or I don't know, anything else that you need to pay for, you can actually pay your mortgage with it too. So it's very interesting. So what they do is they charge your credit card. So when you look at your credit card statement, it actually shows as a purchase. And if you have a credit card that has an introductory offer of 0% for 6 months or 12 months, they'll actually, the credit company will show that, okay, this was a purchase, so we're going to honor the 0%. So it's not like a cash advance, because in a cash advance, I haven't seen a credit card that offers a 0% on a cash advance. I don't think there is one, because I actually looked. So what they do is they charge your card, and then they use their own money to send the wire to the title company. And like I was saying earlier, if you're going to use this, their wires take a little bit longer. It takes about 24 to 48 hours. So if you're closing tomorrow, I would send it 2 days, prior to closing, just so nobody's upset. Because the first time I used it, we're actually doing a closing and it didn't get there on time, so we had to extend closing, and everybody was pretty upset. But at least it was done. So yeah, 24 to 48 hours, and it's called Plastic. It's free. You just add your cards here, and then just do the pay here. It's very simple, and they can help you if you need help. But it's called Plastic. All right, let's see. Any other?
Rosalie. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Rosalia. So question, I know that you were saying that it was going to be, or it was given to you then vacant, well, after the tenants left, but did they clean everything out, or did you have to spend money on like dumpsters and stuff and clean it?
Yeah, I actually left it. I just cleaned the inside just a bit, and everything else was there. It was still kind of messy. So yeah. So
I'm just wondering if so by the time that you listed it, and then because in the pictures, like there's there's all their belongings and stuff out, like was it eligible for an FHA loan, or the buyers, did they buy it like cash, or the investors, or?
Yeah, it was a cash deal. So
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the reason it wasn't out. It takes longer to get I mean, it could be if the house is in decent condition, has air conditioner. So you just have to abide by the FHA guidelines. But in this case, when I listed it, I said cash. So yeah, I would just, when you list it, say, hey, I want cash. I don't want, because it was below what the ARB was. So I still listed it below. So, it just gets the attention. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. And then one last thing is on that program, the REI Black Book, is that connected to, I've heard of the other ones that are REI Reply and REI Simply. Do you know if those are connected?
No, they're different. They're
different things? Okay. I didn't know if maybe they were like something you could connect and I guess communicate in between.
I know they're all, we had tried a lot of them. We started with Podio, and then this is the one that seems to work for me. But I actually tried others. I tried the REI Simply, which is, this one is what works for me. They're all CRMs, at the end. Yeah.
A little different.
Yeah, just different functions, different. Yeah.
Awesome. Does that Black Book one let you track, I guess like maybe have spreadsheets of like tracking costs and stuff like that? Or how do you how do you track that? Because I just feel like I kind of, just to have like an Excel spreadsheet for me is like hard because it's not really, I guess, streamlined, right? So I was going to look into options of what.
Yeah, this one is, that's the only thing that's is missing.
Okay.
Everything else, it's KPIs. It's what. So we have to create a separate spreadsheet and track it that way. It's yeah,
Okay.
or yeah, it's yeah, KPIs. Yeah,
Cool. All right. I think that's all I had on mine. Thank you.
awesome. Yeah. Any other questions? No other questions. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I mean, hopefully that was helpful. I'm here to help. I'm in the Florida market. I don't know if you guys heard my story, but I actually was working with the wholesaler prior to doing this on my own. Um, I was actually the lead manager for a wholesaler here in Southwest Florida. We're doing a lot of PPC. So I was actually at one point I was actually helping with his marketing. Is we're doing both PPC and direct mail, and we were actually going the old school. We're actually going to the appointments and talking face to face. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just you do less deals um, that way. And then in last year in November is when I quit my job and just went full time. And I did a micro flip, and then I did this hotel. And I'm looking to do more deals with, by no means I'm an expert, but I actually got to work with a wholesaler. So I worked for him for 2 years. So you got to know how to comp. I mean, I'm an agent, so I need, you're supposed to know how to comp and, how to talk to sellers. And so, yeah, if you guys have any leads or deals that you need help, we can structure them. It's not just a cash offer. There's different strategies, and I think that's what the wholesaler lacked of is he was just making cash offers. And I think we could have got a lot more offers, except if we would have offered, hey, maybe we can list this for you. Maybe we can, could you finance this property for us? Or, I mean, there's different ways to get a property under contract. So yeah, if you guys have any deals or leads that you need to call, or just let me know. I can call them for you, and we can, like Jamil says, squat up.
Yeah, does your whatever it was called, the Remine, is that only for your market to pull absentee owner lists?
No, it's nationwide. So I actually get nationwide
Okay,
data.
yeah, I would love to
So,
chat
yeah.
about Colorado then, because I would like to.
Okay.
Yeah, let's chat later.
Yeah.
And then Henry asked,
Okay.
what do you think of SEO?
It works, man. SEO works. I actually have a site that it's slowly bringing in leads. So that's the other strategy is, I forgot to mention, but yeah, SEO works. It works. I think our website is bringing, I would say, like one lead a month, and so it works. Yeah, to be honest, everything works. You just got to be consistent at it. And now that I look back, working with the wholesaler, he only focused on PPC and direct mail, and every month we're just sending direct mail every single month. And again, it works. It's just, you got to stay at it. That's the key. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to stop recording.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I think you
And
have-
then if you guys want, I can